so glad you came! I'm so excited to read our story today. But first, I need your help. There's no words in my storybook. Do you think you could help me use your Freedom Fairy magic to make a wordy wish? It goes like this. I wish, wish, wish for a Freedom Fairy wish. Wow! There's words in my book! Ooh, what a good story this is. Let's begin. Over the rainbow, under the sun and deep into the willy-wally woods, there is a change afoot. The fairies that live in this enchanted forest have noticed that at around the same time each year, something slightly magical and a bit strange happens to the trees. Green leaves, once luscious and plump, slowly thin, and as if by magic, change their colors to brown, orange, red, deep purple, and yellow. The cold breath of winter begins to chill the air, and the creatures of all shapes and sizes begin to prepare to nestle down and wait out the colder times. The fairies call this time autumn, as it is that time that the autumn fairies begin to appear. Waiting at the bottom of a big oak tree was little Audrey Autumn. She was an autumn fairy, and she had just turned 300. This was the age that the autumn fairies were appointed by the Fairy Queen to begin their important season-changing work. Audrey was so very excited to begin her work preparing Fairyland for the new season. So excited, in fact, that she flew right up into the beautiful oak tree under which she thought was a good place to begin. She began changing the lush green leaves. Using her autumn magic, she held the leaves in her hand and gently breathed autumn into them. Some she plucked from their branches and watched slowly fall to the ground. Others she trusted to fall by themselves at just the right moment. Slowly, the trees around her began to look more orange than green, and the forest floor became a carpet of amber-colored, crunchy leaves. But then, all of a sudden, a fresh, cool breeze swept through the willy-wally woods. It started getting stronger and stronger until it was a powerful wind, and oh no! It was blowing away Audrey's favorite leaf piles! Stop! Stop! Shouted Audrey Autumn. My leaves! But it was too late. Not even a single crunchy leaf bed remained on the forest floor. Audrey was not pleased, and with a big huff, said, Right! I'm off to find this breathy bandit who blew my lovely leaves away! She flew off in the direction the wind was coming from. She traced the breeze all the way through Freedom Fairyland, over the mountains, through the rainbow fields, and above Mermaid Lagoon. On her travels, the first creature she ran into was at the edge of a deep, dark forest, guarding his treasure in a strange little fort and making large huffing and puffing sounds. Daryl Dragon! Your huffs and puffs are blowing all my leaves away, exclaimed Audrey Autumn, certain that the dragon's big breaths were the cause of the wind. Oh, Audrey, it wasn't me, I swear. I am an air-breathing dragon, and I love to huff and puff for sure, but I would never blow away your leaves. I'm too busy looking after my treasure. Very well, Daryl Dragon. You certainly do have some lovely treasure. I'm sorry I thought it was you. I must be on my way, then, to find the real bandit, said Audrey Autumn. Daryl Dragon blushed and wished her well on her journey. Flying past the deep, dark forest, the next creature Audrey encountered was in a frosty part of Fairyland, a part that was always in wintertime. Sitting on a glittering throne was the beautiful Queen of Snow and Ice. Excuse me, Snow Queen. I'm sorry to barge into your kingdom, but would you please stop sending your ice magic into the willy-wally woods? It's making a breeze that's blowing my leaves away, said Audrey. Audrey. I have far too much to do in my frosty forest to be blowing away your leaves. If you are looking for the culprit, I would suggest talking to the Dandelion Fairies over in Rainbow Flower Fields. They travel around by the breeze, and so were probably there when your leaf blowing happened, calmly replied the Snow Queen. Oh, thank you, said Audrey Autumn as she flew off to the Rainbow Flower Fields. She dipped and dived under and over big marshmallow flowers and rose bushes. wove round the lavender layer, and sunk through the sweet sunflowers until she was all the way down to where the dandelion fairies live, right upon the mossy ground. Delilah the dandelion fairy was readying a dandelion puff for transport, as that's how she traveled around Freedom Fairyland, when Audrey Autumn burst in a puff of autumn breeze and exclaimed, "Oh, you have to help me, Delilah Dandelion! I'm having such a tricky day trying to work out who blew my lovely piles of leafy leaves away. I was wondering if any of your fairy friends saw who blew my leaves away when you were floating on the breeze?" "Well, diddle darn dandelions, I did! Me and a few fairies were floating through that way when it happened. I myself saw Gale the Wind Fairy blowing a huge weather balloon, which she burst in the direction of the Willy Wally Woods. We were caught in the breeze of it and floated all the way back home." "Ah, of course it was the weather fairies. I'll fly up to where they live and ask her why she did such a thing," replied Audrey Autumn. "Thank you, Delilah Dandelion," she called as she flew off. Audrey Autumn arrived at the weather fairy's towering cloud castle. She climbed up the steep steps, and with a rat-a-tat-tap, she knocked on the castle door. Fairy April came out and asked what she would like. "I would like to have a little word with Gale the Wind Fairy, please. She has done something that I do not think she should have." Gale appeared at the door. "Oh, sweet Audrey Autumn, congratulations on becoming an autumn fairy. You must be so excited," squealed Fairy Gale. "I was Fairy Gale until you decided to blow all my lovely leaves away. The Fairy Queen is going to be so disappointed in me. I couldn't finish my leaf piles. Autumn is ruined," Audrey Autumn stated. "Oh, Audrey Autumn, I'm so sorry about your leaves, but I was just doing my job too. You see, every year, I blow away the dry orange leaves to make way for winter's frost. And then, in the sweet spring, saplings and sweetly scented summer buds will grow." Audrey Autumn was confused. She didn't realize the weather fairies worked so closely with her and the other season fairies. "The seasons have to change, Audrey, and that means that things like leaf piles can't last forever. We must allow things to move on so that new and exciting things can happen. Otherwise, Freedom Fairyland would be one season all year round. Fairyland would lose a lot of its magic." Audrey Autumn was beginning to understand, but it made her so sad that Autumn had to go away. "I wish Autumn would stay forever. I love my job, and now that I have become a full autumn fairy, it would be so fairy-tastic to be making autumn magic all the time. And it's just the most fairy fun season." "Oh, I know how you feel. I sometimes wish I could be blowing autumn breezes all year round too. But change isn't a scary process. It is quite fun, because we get to experience new things and the other season fairies get to do their jobs while you get to have a rest. Besides, there's still some time before autumn ends, so you better get back to making those wonderful leaf piles." "Just between you and me, they were the biggest leaf piles I have ever seen," replied Gale. Audrey Autumn laughed. "I understand now. I'm so sorry I was so grumpy before. You did a really good job with moving those leaves, Fairy Gale. I look forward to working with you for the rest of autumn and for the autumn still to come." Audrey Autumn, with a newfound friendship with the weather fairies, flew all the way back home to the Willy Wally Woods. She told her fairy friends about the importance of the seasons and the way they change to make room for more growth and more fun. She looked forward to the next autumn very much and was so very happy to be an autumn fairy. The end. Oh, what an amazing story that was! Thank you so much for joining me. Well, until next time, Freedom Fairy Flutterby's!